little intense, man. Lights and everything. It's pretty neat, though.
It's a live studio audience behind,
I love it. It feels like a Coachella event, man. Yeah.
We got applause, right?
Yeah.
The streets want to know, do you still got it?
Do I still got it? What does that mean? The quick scope? You want a quick scope?
You want a quick scope, bro?
1v1, bro?
1v1 right now. Rust, bro. Rust.
Dude. Oh, man. Hey, you know what? I've actually considered buying the PS5 for that reason. Those nostalgic moments of seeing those maps. God, man. I played again when they came out with Remastered.
Yeah.
For the PlayStation 4. And I still had it then. Took a little rust off, but it took a minute, and I was able to get back on it.
Just top of the leaderboard every time.
Yeah, man. It was
it's like
very
riding a bike.
competitive by nature. You know, it's kind of what I am. That was fun, though, man. We used to play with me, you, Carlos, your brother, Axel.
Alex.
We had a whole clan, man. Alex.
Yeah, we had at one point. So what we're talking about, we used to play Call of Duty. For those that don't know, Ricky. Well, let's introduce you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I was formerly known as Ricky, reincarnated out as Rick. Mature adult.
Your adult formal name.
Yeah, adult formal name Rick. We grew up. Went to the same high school. We played Call of Duty a lot.
A lot.
Whole summer.
Days worth of fucking.
I think that's a lot of kids our age, to some degree, can relate that Call of Duty was their life for a good few summers. Back in 2011, 10 maybe.
Yeah, 10, 11. I think 12 is kind of everything died off, but
yeah.
No, that was some of my best. Like
memories.
Sometimes I'm like, I started creating content in 2015, but I already had YouTube videos of edited Call of Duty content in 2011.
I saw that. I had no idea.
And I was like, damn, I should have been a gamer, bro. Just playing Call of Duty.
Dude, it's so sick. People on Twitch blew up that did that. They did it consistently. They blew up for playing, Minecraft and Call of Duty.
Yeah, people still play Call of Duty to this day. And there's different people that I've seen. One guy, I follow this one guy. His name is like Go619. And the reason I follow him is because I was in a lobby. It was like, I don't know, like 2015 or I don't know what year it was. I was playing one of those, either Black Ops 3.
Yeah. And
this guy just kept destroying everybody. I'm like, what the? And then I would just try to kill this guy the whole time. And then I started searching up his name, and he was like a YouTuber.
Oh shit!
And then I was like, it makes sense. Like this dude's just wrecking every lobby.
He's got the credentials.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
So I followed that foot, and I what he does is he plays every Call of Duty, and it's like, getting a nuke in every game, or trying out the AK-47 in every single Call of Duty. He makes videos like that, more like trying different things.
Yeah, people love that stuff, man. If you can roll it over a few different games, they stick around because they want to see the first phase, the first game, the second game. The retention for that video format that he makes, entices people to stick around. I think that's why videos blow up, because retention has lots to do with how much a video gets pushed, right? One of the metrics. So I think that kind of the way he
packages it. It's about the packaging.
Yeah,
YouTube is actually just any platform. You gotta, what do you want to be known for, I guess? Because you can make content about anything. So you post content about this, then people are gonna know you for that. You want to package it in that way, then people know you for that. There's people just stream. People just want to hear the personality for 10 hours a day. People are streaming.
That's crazy.
That to me, I don't watch streamers like that. Like. I don't know. Or maybe it's like the younger kids that are like watching. But
yeah, because it's like our reality TV. We're just like, what, Jersey Shore? That was our reality TV, right? That was our streaming that probably the kids watch now, is people live streaming for 10 hours a day, which is crazy. But, there's an audience for it, obviously. And for us, that was what I watched, was Jersey Shore.
Yeah. There's an audience for everything. Okay, so going back to Call of Duty, why or when did you stop playing?
When I stopped playing?
Call of Duty or video games?
I think high school, senior year, probably stopped playing. I still try to play a little bit thereafter, but consistently, like it was Bible, probably like last year of high school. Yeah, I played a lot before then. Yeah. Every fucking day, night and day.
I know.
Like 12 hours a day.
I remember.
Dude. It was nuts. Oh man.
We used to do when we used to play MW2 Demolition, and then we would get 100 kills a game. Like we would have like 2 nukes. It was like, hey, I got my first nuke. Hey, you better not call it. You better not end the game. We're killing these fools. What was it? The favela?
Mm-hmm. We used to do it on favela all the time because the spawns were always in the same
spot.
Spawn,
you were behind the wall, and then the fools are just spawn. You just
with
RPD with like FMJ, just holding the trigger because people are spawning there.
Yeah, dude, it was so frustrating for the other party. But I remember when it happened to us one time, we were playing, And they kept doing the same thing we were doing to others. So then we were just trying to get common ground and try to take ground and do the same thing to them. I remember that happened to us once in Favela too. We were all pissed.
Yeah, no, sometimes you get trapped.
Trapping us.
And that's what's fun about it, because it's like you could dominate a lobby like that. Like I play the new ones and they kind of make it more fair, I guess. Like you can't do as much the spawn trapping.
Oh, really? That's good.
And even the killing though, like sometimes you're shooting and now they give you like a chance to, like, if you don't like kill him right away, he could like fucking if you're not aiming like in the upper body, it's not the same as aiming in the feet, because back then you just like three little shots in the leg and then they die, you know.
I remember.
Now it's like you gotta do chest or head shots.
The M16, right, with the 3-round burst and the FAMAS.
No, what was this? The SMG that was super powerful. The one that like it was just like super fast, a little black. UMP 45. Yes, there you go. That one, bro.
I played too much, man. You just telling him like, oh yeah, that guy.
Oh, UMP, bro, with a silencer, and then that's it, bro.
Stopping power in marathon.
Yeah, that's. And then sometimes you have the spawn little
tactical
insertion when you have like a good spot in the map, and then just dominate,
just keep
or
dominating the same spawn trapping, the same people.
Noob tubers and shit.
What was it? Danger close, one man army.
Oh, bro, that's how I got my first nuke. To be honest.
No way.
Yeah, noob tubing. That was my first nuke, bro. Noob tubing, boom, on terminal. That was my first nuke.
That's sick.
I was like, oh shit, and then I got the chopper gunner, and I was like, oh damn, and then boom.
Yeah, there was a whole layout to this. So anybody who didn't play Modern Warfare 2 is like, if you got the what was it, the Harrier, AC-130, and then the nuke.
Yeah.
It was those three. That was the setup that got you to a nuke. Once you got the 7 kill streak, you were in a good spot. Because you got a Harrier, will give you 4 more, and then the nuke's right around the corner.
Yeah, and then once you're an AC-130 or a chopper gunner, because you just hit the spawn,
over and over.
And then you just 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, and then that shit turns. I always liked the people that would get nukes just using their knife.
What?
Like no shooting. Well, I'm watching them on YouTube.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
There was this one gamer, man. I don't know his name. It was like, I don't know, but he only used like throwing knives or stabbing. That's all his skills, or like in his gameplay.
That's badass.
So all he did was just run around and figure out ways to just kill people without shooting.
Damn, I thought I was cool for Quicksilver, but that shit's impressive, man. Shit, that's strategic as hell. Like,
squat with the ones that had like the crazy like headset setups where you could hear every footstep.
Yeah, was that Ninja or something? No, that was for your silent footsteps. Sit rep, where you can hear everything.
Yeah,
right?
And Ninja, well, so that way you're silent,
quiet,
and then the cold-blooded, so they don't get you on the.
Heart rate monitor?
Yeah, heartbeat. The heartbeat with the FAMAS. That shit was also super powerful, bro.
Damn, man, those are good times. And that's the only reason, again, I feel inclined to buy the game, because the nostalgia was so much. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was like a good part of my late teens.
And what was cool too is because we would play every day, and then the Expendables came out.
Dude, we went to go watch the Expendables. It was so badass because all the guns there were from Modern Warfare 2. They had the AA, or what was it?
The shotgun.
The shotgun. They had all of them.
Where the guy just sprayed and prayed.
Yeah, walking into the room and like
we're like
extended mags and shit. Dude, that was badass because it was like the perfect way to end the summer. Because midsummer, the Expendables came out, and we went to go watch it as a clan.
Yeah, all our clan, and we had a bunch of people, and we were just having the best time. That was so sick.
It was a relatable, cause it was very fun because the guns they used there, the same weapons as from the game. I think it was intentional, honestly.
I think so. They knew their market. Yeah. Whoever the marketing was around there,
it was perfect.
They definitely hit it. And that was amazing. And then I remember our clan ended because we created all our PS3 accounts without a proper email.
Yeah.
We just made we didn't verify anything, and then they're like, "Oh, you gotta verify every single email," and everyone was like, "No, fuck." We just lost our account.
We never followed through with that after, but I'll never forget your username was Wormiful.
Yeah,
Wormiful.
That's still my username on PS4.
Oh no way!
Well, I don't have a PS5. I have a PS4.
Oh cool.
Wormiful. Still, I have the same username.
No way, that's badass.
Same
Where
one.
did that name come from?
That name?
You had that name for a long time. I never knew where it derived from though.
Yeah, so freshman year in high school, I used to have long curly hair, kind of like just long curly hair, and then I was like a rocker fool in like 8th grade or something.
Oh, okay.
Started listening to rock music, and then in freshman year, summer school, so barely before freshman year, I had long curly hair, and I was taking summer classes, and then this dude named Jay Turner, the home, shout out to Jay, he's like, "What up, big worm?" from the movie Friday, because I had a big curly hair. And then you're a freshman, 14 years old, so everyone's like, Big Worm, Big Worm.
Kind of stuck.
So that was just my nickname in high school, Big Worm or Worm. And then they were making fun of me in class. And then someone's like, they were making like puns. And then someone's like, "You're not beautiful, you're wormiful."
Oh, that's so
and
fucking
everyone was
good.
just cracking. And I was and actually I made my YouTube channel. No, it was a PS3 account. So I made my Sony account, and I was like, I was trying to put my name, and everything was taken. So I was like, let me put wormiful. And then because I had the PS3, that was before social media. So when social media came out, then I made my Instagram wormiful because it was my PS3 handle.
Oh, okay.
And then I made my Twitter wormiful just because I'll keep it the same.
Consistent.
And then I had that one probably till 2022 is when I rebranded to Coachella Angel.
Gotcha. Okay. I used to keep up with your videos, man. I thought it was badass. Like when in 2016 is when I found your channel, making videos on Coachella.
Yeah.
And I kept up with you because you do interviews and stuff like that. And I always found it inspiring that you're the only person from the area where I grew up doing YouTube. And I thought it was badass because everyone wants to do YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It's such a glorified thing, right? So I was like, I keep up with everything you did, and I saw your channel growing, and I was like, this is cool. I saw the first year. I don't remember. I caught it a year later. One of your Coachella videos had blown up. And then you had over 1,000 subs. And I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's blowing up right now. What the fuck's going on? And I don't know what year was that you got like about mil views on one of your videos.
That was 2019. So I posted a Will Smith video. I knew that video was going to do good because the week leading up to Coachella. So Coachella 2018 is when I did my first Coachella tip video because I did a reaction to the lineup, and that video got like 10,000 views, and all my videos were getting like 200.
Yeah.
And then I got 10,000, and I was like, what? Like, and then on the comments were like, oh, if you got any tips, it's our first time, let us know, make a tip video. People were just commenting that, and I was like, oh, let me make a tip video. And then I made one, a bunch of views as well. And then I realized, oh shit, people, it's a vacuum. Like, there's not enough people making content helping people go to the festival, and I'm local. I've been going for a long time. So then I was like, okay, let me get on this formula for Coachella 2019. So over the next year, I made like 50 videos about Coachella Fest.
Damn.
The views weren't that great. Certain ones they were okay, but once it was actually started to come in the month of April, all my videos started getting like hella views and comments. And then I had a video get like 50K, another one get like 20K, another get 40K. It was just like a snowball. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And then when I was watching someone told me, I think my wife Alex or somebody told me, they're like, Will Smith posted that he was in Palm Springs, and then he deleted the story. He might come out with this Jaden Smith. So someone gave me that tip. I think it was my wife, but and I was like, okay, Lele, just in case. So he did it. I think it was Icon. So I started recording, and then Will Smith came out, and I just kept it right there, recording in the center. And then they sang the song twice, whatever. And I tried uploading it from the festival, but of course it's no Wi-Fi. So I was like, oh, I'll upload it tonight. So it was like at 4 or 5 p.m. And we enjoyed the rest of the Friday. And then I uploaded like at 1 a.m. when I got home. I literally just whatever I recorded, no editing.
Right.
Just, Will Smith comes out with Jaden Smith. And then I went to sleep. When I woke up, I had like 300,000 views or something crazy. Like insane. I was like, what the hell? Like, insane. And then that pushed all their videos that I had even more.
People go on your channel, they find your other content, they view everything else.
So it was just mind blowing. I was like, the formula worked. Those 50 videos leading up to the moment.
Yeah, you laid the groundwork, and then one video took off, and the rest of them also benefited.
Yeah, it was just euphoric. And then in the month of April, I ended up getting like 2 million views on my channel that month.
Yeah, the SEO helps there because there's not enough people making videos and this kind of content.
Yeah.
And the great thing is that you listen to the comments. The comments are great.
That's kind of led me because that wasn't a route. Like right now, I'm, producing my own shows and these things, but it was kind of like an accident.
Yeah.
Like I was always going to the festival. Like, I just like going to enjoy the local festival that we have, the biggest festival in the world. It's
crazy,
in our town, And it was not planned. So, that happened. And I was like, oh, shit, let me do it again for 2020. And then fucking COVID hit. So that shit, 2021, my channel kind of died because all my content was music festival content. And also, I tried making other types of videos. But to be honest, internally, I just didn't feel right making videos during COVID era because it was like, people are dying and people are like, why am I even making videos? Like, it fell. I don't know if I fell into the trap of everything, the fear that they made us go through and shit. But that happened, and then again 2022, same formula. I got like 1 million something views, and then last year too 1 million something. So the month of April, the last 3 Coachella seasons, I've gotten at least 1.5 million.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
So that's for anybody that's like a good plan to do something like that is like it's what do you call it, like let's say Halloween's coming up and you make 50 videos about helping people pick costumes, this is it, and then when Halloween comes, people are searching that content, you would get a lot of views. Or Christmas, people do the Vlogmas for that reason. So it doesn't have to be just Coachella. Like if you,
it's a trend. You catch a trend.
You're catching a trend. Like you can make a bunch of videos in January, like a month before the Super Bowl, about the top 5 Super Bowl commercials, something about the Super Bowl, this about the Super Bowl, and when the Super Bowl comes, you organically are gonna get a lot of views.
Oh yeah,
because people are searching that up. So it's
SEO,
kind of paying attention to what's gonna happen. So
events that are huge, that are a lot of search engine optimization is gonna happen.
Yeah,
you can find it in the Google Analytics. If you do enough homework, you can find those trends. They happen every season.
Yeah,
I've done that a lot too.
The Grammys, you know, like here are the 5 Grammy snubs and top 10 Grammy this and all the one time
previous Grammys.
People that's what I'm saying. Old stuff.
Crazy.
You make all those videos before, like the week before the Grammys, your videos are gonna get good numbers. So it's kind of like strategizing around there. So
it's a game, man. It's a fun game.
It's fun.
It's a fucking fun game.
So how did you when did you start doing YouTube, and when did you decide to start doing YouTube?
Oh man, I've always wanted to do YouTube. I don't say I always wanted to do YouTube, but I think watching you make videos kind of like innately, it's like subconsciously, I was like, I want to do this at some point. Like this is cool. Like it seems fun, especially if it's something you enjoy. And I know you enjoyed Coachella. I mean, look at all the damn time you've gone. So it's something you're passionate about. And I was like, I have a passion that I want to build something on, but I didn't feel like ready, I guess I should say. But I just started in November 27th. I actually just looked at it because I crossed 1,000 subs. We had a conversation about this.
Yeah.
We're going to go into that in a sec because you helped me a lot. I think that's what really pushed me over. But I started November 27th. Was the first time I went live and made a video. First video I posted December 3rd. I went live, streaming, trading live. I do a trading channel, by the way. Anyone watching? The channel that I do is more on day trading, futures. And I went November 27th, 2023. First video I uploaded December 3rd. So it's been 3 months now? Yeah. 3 months, and I'm over almost 2K subs already. So pretty interesting growth in the matter of the last time we talked. When did I see you? 2 weeks ago?
Like 2
weeks ago, I had 400 subs, right?
Yeah.
And you told me, hey, use this Opus AI, make shorts. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I put that into the software. I paid for it, and I made a bunch of shorts from all my long-form content that I have from my live streams and videos that I uploaded, and I woke up to 100 subs overnight. And then the week after that, another 100 subs, and it just kept compiling. I think there's a lot of viewership in shorts, and I think that's how I kind of got traction and got over 1,000 subs in like a week.
Yeah, no, that was super nuts, sick. Dude. I remember like I check and I'm like a day later, I'm like, oh shit, and then like 2 days later, I'm like, oh shit, this is almost at 1,000. And then like I called you once you got to 1,000.
It took me like, you called me that morning. You're like, you're at 900. I'm like, bro, I know, shit. And I was like, thanks, man, you fucking helped me, because dude, honestly, I don't think from month 1 to month 2, it took forever just to get to 500.
Yeah.
But once I started implementing that short stuff, man, it doubled I'm almost at 2K, 1,700 subs already. In a matter of 3 weeks. So I don't know what it is about shorts, but if you're watching this and you have a YouTube channel, you gotta make fucking shorts.
Well, it's because YouTube's been pushing shorts because YouTube is losing online revenue and online viewership to TikTok and Reels, and
gotcha.
So it's like, oh shit, we gotta make our own shorts, and they're kind of pushing shorts in front of more people, so that way people get used to you watching vertical videos on their platform instead of on going to other platforms like TikTok or Instagram. Yeah. I got an update today. I don't know if you saw it, that you could do vertical live streaming now.
They're trying to get.
So now you could use your phone and vertically live stream, because before you had to do it horizontal or through a computer. Yeah. So now YouTube's like, hey, we got to compete with TikTok, because there's TikTokers that just go live and they're just, I always see these people. They're like working at a pizza shop or something. They put their phone up live.
No way.
This is just like making fucking pizzas and spinning fucking dough, and people are like donating money and shit. There's people that are construction workers are doing that. There's people that are whatever. People are just watching these things, bro, and it's insane.
Crazy.
I'm like, and people donate money, which is the trippiest part. It's like,
Yeah, man.
You understand when it's like a girl, you know, guys are simps and shit. So
Sure.
girls are gonna get
Those are facts. All right.
girls got it on easy mode when it comes to content. Like,
Sure.
but like people donate just for anything, you know. It's just like, oh shit. And there's an audience for everything. There's, I think, 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people. That's, you know, whatever your content is, there's gonna be an audience. And
There is,
as long as you're consistent and keep showing up, and you could build an audience now, and in 5 years you could do completely different content, and your people will follow you for you because they're spending time with you. They're creating subconscious or conscious memories, watching your channel, commenting.
They get invested. I can tell you it's true because my fiance watches these shows I fucking don't give shit for. She watches. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, I just did. It's just how I am. In my live streams, I cuss a lot. My fiance like, you're cussing out today. I'm like, yeah, it's my stream.
It's a fucking market right now.
But the thing is, like, my fiance loves to watch these like reality love shows, like Love Is Blind.
Yeah, my wife does all that too.
Right, and I'm not really a fan of this stuff. Like, I don't like it. I'm like, change it, and then it starts to play in the background, and I'm listening to it passively. Admittedly, I watch it with her too, and the next thing I know, I was like, what happened to this guy? What happened to them? I'm like, I didn't even care to begin with.
Yeah,
you know. But people become invested, and I think that happens the more you watch someone. You become invested in their lives. You want to see what they're going, what they're up to. You know, I think it just happens. It's kind of, I think, human behavior.
Yeah.
You know, after a certain amount of time of watching someone, I know there's a study on this. Because I was reading something on branding and how we associate and become comfortable with brands after a certain amount of interactions and a certain amount of time that we see these things in certain colors also. It's a psychological thing. So there's this guy, I forget his name, I can talk about it after, I can look it up. But there's this guy who does really popular for teaching people how to brand themselves.
Yeah.
And he talks about the psychological aspects of branding and how people associate with branding yourself, or people becoming comfortable with you so that they can innately become a part of you and follow you. And he talks about how branding has evolved and stuff. It's pretty interesting stuff. But he talks about those psychological tips that, like, it takes 10 minutes of interaction over a period of time for someone to become comfortable with you. And then there's also colors associated with that too, with logos and stuff that he talks about people associate with certain categories within the industry. So it's pretty interesting stuff, and I think that plays a role in people following along with your channel. Like you said, 5 years later, if you have a demographic, you can deviate and do something different because you establish an audience, they build rapport, and they're comfortable with you, and they'll follow you to the ends of the earth, so to speak.
Yeah, you're providing as well as, like, people watch your videos, they're either entertainment or information, or you're helping them in some way, and they build trust because you make them feel something, you know?
Yeah, of course. And it's funny because this is a new economy because you're talking about people getting donations.
Yeah.
Live streaming. It's fucking nuts.
Do you get donations and live streams?
I have, dude. The first day I got monetized, 500 subs, you get monetization for tips and stuff. The first day I got monetized, someone donated $100.
That's sick.
The first day, I was like, what? I was like, no, you didn't have to do that, man. Dude, it was crazy.
Did they ask a question or was it?
No, he just donated. Like, I went over on my live stream like, hey, I got like 500 subs. I qualify for this, and that, kind of covering the super chats and stuff like that. As soon as I let someone know, he donated for $100.
That's so sick.
Yeah, this guy from Canada, dude. His name's Matthew. God bless him, man. He's amazing.
Shout out to Matthew.
Yeah, shout out to Matthew Justice, man.
Do you have people that you see regularly on your stream?
Dude, hey, man. Honestly, I'm very surprised by just not only the audience that I get, because it's people all over the world, honestly. It's crazy. But, yeah, I got like people that have followed me since the beginning. It's only been 3 months, but there's people that show up every single day, and they support the channel. Honestly, dude, like, I realized through the internet that strangers are a lot fucking nicer than I ever thought they were. Yeah. Strangers on the internet is so fucking supportive. Like, God bless them, honestly. Like, every stranger on the internet that leaves comments and likes videos and stuff like that, they're awesome, dude.
Not every
person leaves nice comments, and that's okay. You know who you are. But, dude, I felt so much support from early on from making videos that these people provided some fuel for me, like, to feel more motivated than I already was to make content and to continue to show up. Because I can't believe it. Like, honestly, when I expected it, I know people are not really, for the most part, not very social nowadays. Yeah. You know, you go about in public settings, people don't like interacting, engaging. But people on the internet, they love to engage with people, and they like to say nice things. Yeah. There's some people, of course, that are, taint the waters, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, no, it's the audience online is pretty cool because it's like sometimes it's like, oh, what are people gonna say when I'm making videos? But like the people that you know don't even watch the videos.
No, exactly. And that's okay. They're not made for them, but yeah. They don't. Like there was this thing where like I make videos and people are gonna watch me and they're gonna judge me, but nobody really cares.
No one cares.
Everyone's really cares.
Everyone's worried about what people are thinking about themselves.
Yeah. So like if you're ever in doubt, ever starting a channel, just fucking do it. Nobody gives a shit. And the people that do are the ones that are going to comment and say, hey, nice job, or hey, this is really cool. They're going to say nice things that are only going to elevate you to do it further. And every fear you have actually isn't real, honestly. In terms of like, I don't know, the bias you may have about how you look or how you sound. I stutter in my videos all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and my fiance watches them and she laughs. I'm like, hey, stop it. Stop laughing at me. But, and you know, I don't like hearing my videos. There's one thing I'll say is like, I make a video, I won't watch the fucking video.
You just cringe the whole time.
Cringe,
I do that too, bro.
I hate it, dude.
I watch a video from even like a month ago or whatever. Like even I'm like, damn, I should have edited this different. Oh, I should have done this different. But then people are like, oh, that's so cool, you made a video, and I'm like, that video sucks, bro. Don't watch it.
Like,
you know?
Please no. Like, but people don't see what we see. We're their worst critics, right?
Yeah,
we are our own worst critics.
And nothing matters, bro. It's like, yeah, in our heads we think about like you say, it's a fake fear, bro. Because it's like, first, no one cares because they're busy about their family, their bills, whatever problems. People got their own problems. They're worried about that. They don't care about what you are going through, Yeah. Number two is like, who cares? Because nothing matters. Like 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now, 10,000, no one's even going to remember anything, It's like,
of course not.
Time passes. There's a tsunami that wipes out the earth, a fucking asteroid or something.
The most controversial and best example of this is the internet has amnesia. The internet has amnesia. If you view the internet as a collective, it has amnesia. I mean, just think of Kanye West.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers this shit. He goes through his like ebbs and flows and shit as an artist. He still has a following, but the internet has amnesia. And I think.
But it's also, it doesn't matter. Like, he's done so many negative things. Like, he started his career. He did a lot of stuff, but like the major points were like when he was on live TV during Katrina, and he's like, George Bush doesn't care about black people, and everyone's like, what?
Right, yeah.
Like, boom, super controversial. But then people make articles, people talk about it on the news, people make all these things about what he said. Yeah. But then like they move on to the next story, and now his name. So the way I look at like how people know about you is like, let's say for example, someone Googles your name.
Sure.
And then at first there's 20 pieces of Google searches. You put your name, there's only 20.
Yeah.
Then you make 20 videos, you do a couple interviews, whatever. Now there's 1,000 things about you on different platforms. Then you do other things, then there's 10,000 things about you. Then you do more things, then it's 20,000, then it's 1 million, then 10 million. And you get to the point where like your name just becomes so much bigger. A lot of people might find through a controversy, they discover you. Yeah. Some people, oh, he donated money to puppy rescue, whatever. Some people discover you through there. Yeah. Maybe you make YouTube videos or music or a movie and people discover you through there. But like, no, all these things are just making your name
bigger
more known,
bigger, more recognizable.
More, it's just data, bro.
Yeah, honestly, the way
that's why I look at it is data.
It is data. It's a lot. And the way I view it in like a very fragmented way, it's kind of like you're building a spider web on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like you're like building this huge web with your name, and the data points are the content you put out there, whether it's articles writing about you making them, or videos you're making and content. And like the bigger the web you put now, the bigger your audience will be down the road, because there's so many more eyeballs to come down the road. I mean, my son, all he watches is fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
If it were up to him, he'd watch YouTube. That's all he would watch.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a big wave of insurgence of eyeballs and audiences coming to every facet of an industry if you're on YouTube in the next 5 to 10 years. Because I unfortunately don't let my son watch YouTube all day. Okay. But I know there's a bunch of kids that probably do or will in the future.
Yeah, and they transition from your little kids that are watching the little kid shows. When they're 12, they're watching maybe Mr. Beast videos, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
When they're 21, maybe they're watching fucking podcasts. Or when they're 28, 30, they're watching some finance stuff. Maybe they want to watch some real estate stuff because they want to buy a house. It's like they also grow through the internet. And right now you're creating content that maybe little kids don't like it, but in 10 years they might, because they're going to grow into adults, you know? And it's... That's a cycle that's not going to be stopped, because people are glued to their phones or devices now. And slowly, we're talking about before the podcast is like automation and AI. Integration with AI, and like self-driving cars and going to a grocery store and there's no people besides machines you check out, or those Amazon stores where like you go in, grab your stuff, and you walk out, and they just know what you took from the shelf. I'm like, what? Like,
it's nuts because because all these things are creating more productivity with less friction, labor, physical friction. So like as we get self-driving cars and get all this other stuff, what do people do with their spare time? They utilize their devices. Right, and so I think as productivity increases through AI, so does the audience on all these platforms that exist now. They're going to double and triple in size because the more time people have, whether you want to believe it or not, people are going to spend more time on their phones.
Yeah,
that's just what they're going to do. It's just a fact. Like people already do it now, where they like take a shit, you watch the phone.
It's like Elon Musk said in a podcast, people are scared of putting a chip in their brain because they're like, I don't want to merge with machines. Like, I'm not going to be...
You already are.
But you literally walk 24/7 with your phone. That's already a part of you. Yeah. It's almost like...
It's just not integrated.
It's an extension of you. It's like your debit card, credit card information's there, your email's on there, your social media, your phone numbers. How many phone numbers can you remember? Like, could you call somebody right now without, like you just hit a dial?
Bro.
Back in the day, you actually had to take a little notepad, your mom's number, your dad's number, just in case.
Oh, I have a terrible example of this. This little inside story. I got a DUI back in like when I was 21, and they give you one phone call. Yeah, that phone thing's been fucking with me for years. I didn't know who the fuck to call. I didn't know anybody's number. I didn't call my mom, So they gave me one call. You want to call someone? I asked them, can I borrow the phone? And they're like, no. Like my cell phone. And like, no. I was like, well, I don't know who to call. I was like, all right, well, just come back to my little cell or whatever.
Oh, they didn't let you get a number from the phone?
No, they didn't let me. So, yeah, I mean, I have a little prime example of that. I'm already a grown adult, and I grew up without a cell phone, right? As a kid, we remember phones to call your parents and stuff like that, landlines and shit. Even now, I remember phone numbers now to some degree. My fiance's, my mom's, I do now.
Yeah, I know a few.
There's times where they just, they're not there.
Anybody new? I don't know anybody.
Yeah, I don't either, man. So yeah, I agree. And to some degree, it's kind of like bittersweet because then like what happens to our memories because of this? Because we lean on these devices so much.
Yeah, I saw something actually today. It was like when you use your brain less. Like now you have AI that's like, oh, let me go on ChatGPT. I'm gonna give it some bullet points and it'll write a good email for you.
Yeah.
But back then you actually had to think how to write and structure the sentence and fact check. Oh, I misspelled this word and this and like that. And now it's like, oh, here's a couple bullet points. Make me a fucking letter. And then you're not using that part of your brain, or even creating images on AI. Before you had to draw and like know how to fucking from your brain, like, oh, let me do this. Now you could type in a cat playing on top of a piano, fucking sunset, but whatever, and then it creates AI images for you.
That's
it's just like
crazy, and it creates a lot of them for you. You get to pick from each.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, I like this iteration better. Nah, A, B, or C, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me 4 versions of 4. It's like there's no. Yes, you're still the creator by typing in the information, but it's not really using those parts of your brain. Yeah. And then there's a new one. I don't think it's open to the public, but it's called Sora AI, and then now you could create videos almost like cinematic video type shit. So you could say, they did an example, someone typed in like a couple walking through a Japanese city, and then it's like fall season or something, but the drone is panning down, and then there was like a drone shot coming down on the street, and there's a couple walking, and it looked like real people and shit. And like that's right now,
dude.
In 5 years, no, in 2 years from now, like,
for
it's gonna get like you don't even need to almost go film outside. And I've done this with pictures, so I'm like, oh, Coachella Valley sunset, fucking make sure there's palm trees, this, and it creates like images, and I'm like, oh, that's super sick.
I saw the one you did with 2050.
Yeah,
Coachella, that was badass.
Like Coachella 2050, that one, and I did some for like Palm Springs retro, whatever. So it's like you could create this now, but like 5-10 years from now, we're gonna be in the Ready Player One merged with simulations where like you don't know what's real. We're gonna be wearing
the AR.
You're not gonna have phones.
Yeah, no,
you're gonna wear them in your face. You're gonna be your hands are gonna be free. Whether it's like some sunglasses or a contact lens, or if people want to put the chip in their brain, that's
that may be some pushback there, but I'm sure we'll get to some point. Yeah,
I think they just started doing human trials. I think I saw something about that.
Elon, they got approved with this company. I forget what he does.
Will you be down to put a chip in your brain?
I'll try it. It depends. Yeah, like what's the disclosure? What's in the disclosure? What are the risks of dying?
You'll be able to fucking trade faster, bro.
Dude, honestly, and that's one thing that I want to dive into is like as we kind of unravel our minds and lean more on this device that has so many resources that you can utilize, there becomes a gap where you lose critical thinking skills, you lose the ability to focus or have long spans of attention, and just really just be creative. And those are the aspects of what makes us human. And as we rely more on these devices, there's kind of a divot between that. It can make you way more creative because you have all these resources to make with AI, video, cinematic, but it also can, as the people who don't, there's consumers and then there's producers, right? When you use devices, really, that's just what it comes down to, right? You either you consume content all day or you make content, or you do both, kind of a hybrid. But there's usually one side of the spectrum or the other is where you're at. And I don't have any social media. I don't consume any content. I'm not very good at thumbnails and clickable stuff because I don't have social media. I haven't had it for years.
But why you haven't had since when?
Since when, man? You know what? I had social media back, I think 2017, 18. I think the last year I had social media was 2019. It's been about 5 years. I didn't have social media during the pandemic. So
what was the reason behind you?
I never used it. And in the times I did use it, I wasted too much time on it. A lot of my time was spent just scrolling through, whatever it was, Instagram. I had Twitter. I used it for trading.
Yeah.
Right. So like most of my usage for it was for trading, because Twitter has a huge following for trading, other traders and stuff like that. So I used it primarily for that. But the distracting aspects, you get the analytics to tell you how much time you spend on your phone.
Yeah.
I saw that I was spending too much time at productive hours on social media that I didn't need. So how do I eliminate it? Just delete it. Got rid of it. And honestly, like I'm probably the only person I know that doesn't have any social media at all.
That's sick.
And but it's kind of weird because then I also feel like a disconnect. People see all these like something goes viral. I don't know what the fuck's going on. They reiterate it like I should know.
Yeah.
Like so there's a video or a short of going viral. Let's just say for example.
Have you seen this dumb cat fucking?
Yeah, cat video or something. They talk about it like it's common knowledge, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Show me
the video. No, but that's really smart, bro. Because going back to what you said about. That's how I look at it. It's like you're consumer or you're producer. That's it. That's all it is. So I'm like, I want to produce more than I consume. I consume a lot. But I want to produce more than I consume. So because it comes down to that. That's it. It's like you have 24 hours, whatever. Your phone tracks your data, tells you how many hours you spend on TikTok, how many hours you spend on Instagram, how many hours you spend on these platforms. And data doesn't lie.
No, it doesn't. And you see the hour usage, and you know how many hours a day you're awake, and you know how many hours you're working, and how much time you have free. And if a lot of that free time is being used consuming content, and you want to be a producer, you got to cut out the consumption. And just the easiest way was for me to get rid of it. And not only that, but there's other benefits that I want to go into. Why? Because I have friends who have social media, and they're really influenced by the shit that's on there. There's a bunch of crap on Instagram, whatever, Facebook, probably not people to use anymore, Twitter. Like during COVID, I didn't have social media. So I didn't hear all the fear mongering that was happening on the internet because I didn't have access to it. But people would come, my fiance or her relatives or siblings, sending you stuff on social media, just like heightening the fear that we all experienced during COVID. I didn't have any of it. I didn't have fear. Like, I kid you not. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. COVID existed. It was real. There was concern there. But I didn't experience the same magnitude of fear, elevated fear, because I wasn't consuming it on the internet, constantly seeing it all day long as you get off work and you go read and all you see is a bunch of stuff of people dying, getting sick.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. And I felt that disconnect from a third person's perspective where, like, I can see the difference in my mental state compared to everyone else's during that period of time because I didn't have that consumption. So I wasn't feeding into that social narrative that was created everywhere. And that's a bigger scale of things, but also like there's stuff on there that that can some really toxic stuff on the internet that the AI is so good that if you like certain things and they're not positive or they're not good for you, the AI will feed it to you anyway. Like there's lust, fear, greed, a bunch of stuff you want to consume on the internet. The AI will feed it to you. You start liking stuff.
And they go based on what you like, and it's like they know that. It knows your patterns. It knows your watch patterns. It knows that
you watch the fucking
at night this person watches these creators or this type of content. In the morning, this creator watches this kind of content. At lunchtime, this kind of content. Like it knows, so it's feeding you things that pre-programmed of what like there's a 90% chance that he might click on one of these 10 videos we're about to show him when he opens the YouTube app.
Yeah,
and that's
so
and then
good.
it's like, oh, sick, that video looks cool, and then I'll just consuming.
And you go down a rabbit hole,
Yeah,
right?
it's like,
and it's
what?
like it's not the AI's fault. It's just feeding you what you want.
What you want, exactly.
And sometimes, you know, it can be beneficial if you're a very productive person. You can read podcasts and all this other stuff. But I think most people unfortunately fall down the rabbit hole of enhancing the depression, the anxiety, and all this other stuff, because unfortunately, the more you consume that, the more time you spend on that one post reading it, the AI captures that and it's like, okay, let's give him some more of that. Let's give him some more of that. It magnifies what's going on in here. And that's the disconnect that I've had. That's the reason I haven't ever gone back to social
And it's
media.
we only have a limited amount of information that we could take every day.
Mm-hmm.
So every day you wake up, the first thing you do is pick up your phone and read a bunch of nonsense. Your brain's already
Programmed
processing all these things that don't matter, bro. It's like all this shit doesn't matter. Like, stay off the phone. Another thing I realized too is like when COVID, I realized everything is fake. Because I was like really in the fucking, I'm still kind of in there, but now I'm like more self-aware that everything is fake because I saw everything get shut down, bro. I used to be so into sports too. Like, well, I played football, COD.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And then I had the season tickets to the Chargers. I used to watch like all the like NBA games and all this stuff and football games, and spend on a Sunday like watching 9 hours of football with my friends and, you know, drinking and doing this. And then COVID shut everything down. It's like, oh, NBA's canceled, football's canceled, soccer's canceled, this is canceled, entertainment, no more movies, boom, everything, theme parks. Nothing matters except like the people you're locked up with and your family. Hopefully nobody passes away, nothing happens from whatever happens. Then I was like, what the fuck? Everything is fake. Like, nothing matters. And now you look at it like the conflicts happening in the world, you know, people are in war. Those people only care about drinking water. They only care about surviving that night. Yeah. They only care about where they're going to get the food and some shelter. That's literally what matters as humans. And we're still animals, bro. It's like all these like behaviors is because we're animals. So these companies are spending billions of dollars to figure out how to make you stay on their platform longer. So how can we get this person addicted to TikTok? We're going to feed them these things that person already likes. Mm-hmm. Facebook, all this. They're all the same. They all want you to spend time on their platform. But then it's like, oh shit, so these people are billions of dollar companies taking our attention away and feeding us a bunch of garbage that doesn't matter, because what matters is your family and your shelter and food and shit. Circle. Then I was like, oh shit, everything's fake. Now, like, I took a step back and I pretty much didn't watch the NFL at all. Like, I would watch just to keep up with what my team is doing, some highlights here and there. But no, I think I didn't watch one full game this year.
That's crazy.
I think maybe the Super Bowl was one of the only ones. Even the playoffs, I didn't even watch them, bro. I was like, who cares who wins, you know? And like, people really get invested, which is cool too, you know, to have passion. People really like their teams and shit, but
I feel that.
It's like, nothing fucking matters. So what do you want to do with your time? What do you want to do? Spend that time, because everything is fake and everything is not real. You could do anything. So maybe you want to go and trade and do this, then you go on that route. I'm going on I want to build like music and music festivals and things like that. That's where I'm spending my time. Yeah. So it's like just being conscious of like, oh shit, nothing is real. So you could do anything, but just don't consume all the nonsense. You know?
Yeah, and then just focus. You're like a laser, essentially, like a human laser. And the more you focus on one thing, and you put all your intention and energy towards it, unravels, and your world, your life changes. Like, I never would have thought that like my channel would be at almost 2K subs in 3 months. But all I did was focus on just YouTube videos and live streams in the channel for every week, every day. Like, I would work on something, look at my analytics, look at everything, watch other videos, watch other traders, see what they're doing, how they're titling everything. And it just like happens to work that way. The more where you put your intent, you know, and intention is so powerful, because if you just focus on what is your intent, what is your reason for doing something, and you just continue, and if you filter everything you're doing in between that, let's say my reason is to grow the channel for X reason, and then I realize I'm doing something, does it align with that reason? Does the things I'm wasting my time on right now, this extracurricular stuff, does it align with my intention? Whether that's, you know, being there for your wife, being a good husband, or being a good brother, being a good role model for your siblings, whatever it is. Does this stuff that I'm doing here exemplify that intention? And if yes, then cool, continue to do it. If not, then cut it out and do something, and make sure you take that spare time and do what it is you're trying to be intentional about. And I think that's a lot of people don't have is intention. They don't know what they want. They don't know who they are to begin with, and then they also don't know where to hone in their focus after they figure it out.
They don't know who they are.
That is the most powerful thing you can do, I think, anybody. And it does take
time. How do you find yourself?
How do you find yourself? That is a beautiful thing. That's why I trade. Because I found myself. I found myself, though, by mistake.
How you get into trading?
How I got into trading. I found it it found me. I didn't find trading. I don't think I found it. I found myself, and then trading found me. Because I was going through a very spiritual journey when I was like 19, 20-ish. And this was 2016. I found Bitcoin. That's what kind of got me, right? Bitcoin. I bought it at $300. So I got lucky. I don't know how I found it. That's why I think it found me. But the point is, I was going through a spiritual journey where I was kind of more or less interested in the mind and consciousness and just like general awareness. Like, because one thing people don't realize is what got me started into it was really the question was like, are all my thoughts mine? And if you can answer that question and say yes, then there's something wrong with you, because not all your thoughts are yours. They're not. Once I went down that rabbit hole, that question, I started to really wonder what it is to be alive and be conscious, be a human being. And that started it all. And then after that, it kind of unraveled. It dabbled with psychedelics. Psychedelics even turned that wheel even more. And I just went down this path of just trying to become more aware throughout my day, aware of my decisions, aware of what I wanted to do, what that is, but I didn't know what to do. So I'm like, well, how do I know what to do? Well, you gotta figure out, what do you enjoy? What do you like? I love challenges. I love mental challenges. I love the ability to challenge myself from a critical thinking perspective. And anything that does that really gets me into a flow state. And that's why I think trading found me, because if you want to trade, you have to be hyper focused, and you have to be hyper aware of your emotions, your thoughts, and then the ability to dissect information in a split second time and make educated decisions to profit. And so once I don't know how it was, to be honest. I think I found Bitcoin by accident. I bought it as a speculative investment. I think it was Coinbase back in 2016 or 15. And I bought it because I think it was a YouTube video. I don't know how I stumbled on it. I was trying to invest some money. I had a little bit of money because I had just started working and stuff. And I had seen that Bitcoin in 2014 or 13 had gone to $1,000. So my idea was like, oh, it went to $1,000, it'll go $1,000 again. So I bought it for 300. I kind of went about life. I forgot I bought it because it was a weird process. If you were buying Bitcoin back in 2015, 16, I think that was the timeline. It was a really difficult process to fucking buy it.
Yeah.
It was really hard. It was like Coinbase was just new, so the verification process was so rigorous. It took days just to get verified to have an account to buy it. And then just to deposit cash into the account took days. And then just to buy the Bitcoin, it was a whole thing.
The ledger.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude. Now that it is now, where you can just hop on buy on crypto, on Robinhood in one day. It was a process. And because of that process, I think I just forgot about it. And then a few years later down the road, I was going about live, kind of figuring my stuff out. And I was trading in between that. I think I started with like options trading in 2016 during that bull run up when they had the FANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. I found options trading. And then a few months into 17, 18, there was this news articles were coming out about crypto on the news. I had never seen it on the news. CNBC, crypto at $10,000 or $6,000 and then 10,000. I was like, oh shit, I actually have crypto. I was like, so I went and checked and I realized I was still holding a bag. So I sold it and I used it. I'm like, I'm gonna use this money to learn how to trade, because I was trading with a small amount of money. I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I started there, and that's kind of how I stumbled on trading. I got lucky buying crypto early on. I sold it too soon, as everyone has in their life, I think. And that's okay. Like that's not the point. But I think I stumbled with that, and I started to trade, and the amount of focus and attention it requires to do it, the strain that it got me into this flow state. Have you ever been in a flow state? You know what that is? It's a beautiful thing. You lose the concept of time. You lose the concept.
I do that when I'm editing. I get into flow states. I'm just editing videos, no notifications, just boom, this and this. Oh, I'm gonna do this, and then like you lose track of time, but you're creating something.
You're like in this golden space, so to speak, and trading is the one space that I can find myself feeling in a flow state anytime I do it. So once I found that space in trading, I always want to be in that state every single day if I can. And so trading just naturally extrapolated that for me. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is something I'm meant to do. And 8 years later, here I am still doing it. I've learned along the way. It took me a few years to figure it out. But yeah, man, now I'm just trying to teach people on how to do it as well, because there is a lot of pain involved and a lot of bullshit out there on the internet with trying to learn how to trade properly. There's a lot of fake stuff out there that I had to dig through and lose a lot of money for, and a lot of frustration and pain and agony trying to learn this thing. And I simply want to, if anything, just cut people's learning curve, because I'm doing it for free. I'm not asking for anything, because I went through a lot of pain trying to figure it out. I went through a lot of ups and downs, a huge roller coaster of emotions, whether it was something I could even figure out or do, whether I should throw in the towel or not. I think a lot of people, if they ever tried doing anything, and there's no real pathway to being successful at it, because there's no direct path to be successful at this. It requires a lot of trial and error, and there's times where you just want to give up and throw in the towel, and there's many times I've actually felt that. And I think after going through that journey and being in a good spot that I am now, I want to make sure that anybody that really wants it hopefully finds my channel and is able to cut their learning curve so they never get to that point to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
Because giving up is one of those things that people ultimately
you feel
do.
alone when you're you're starting out, because it's like, like your friends and family probably don't know nothing about the stocks. They, depends where you come from.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you stumble across a creator that's going live every day or whatever information you're relaying. What about, do you still have crypto? Do you get back into crypto in the future?
I do
have
crypto. It's on Kraken. It's
Kraken? Yeah.
Yeah.
European
I don't know what.
site?
I have some weird altcoins I bought years ago. I haven't even opened it. So I don't know what they're worth. Maybe worthless. Maybe some are worthless.
Yeah.
Maybe some are worth more.
I got into crypto like in 2017, 18.
Yeah, that was when it started coming on the news.
That's I think on Twitter, on X or whatever else, like, well, crypto this and like money, it's not backed by anything, and then Ethereum and this. So I actually was and then the people, the Dogecoin is gonna do that, and then I was doing more like swing trading back in like 2017, 18. Yeah. Actually, I was doing videos on my YouTube channel in 2018 about investing. I actually had investment videos.
You did your YouTube, how much revenue you had, what your
I was like, oh, you can make money on the internet using affiliate links, and I showed some of my analytics, and then I was like, oh, I'm learning how to invest. I opened up my account. You could sign up through affiliate link, and people were like using the affiliate link, and I was getting referrals.
Crazy.
That's how I was going with my channel, but then it deviated because of that. It was the same time that Coachella videos took off, because all my videos weren't getting views, and I was like, oh, let me hop on this. Yeah. And I was doing swing trading, but my job is always like on the field, the construction and stuff.
Yeah.
So I never committed to like
the research
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, honestly. The thing is, like, what I try to mitigate the amount of work I take on to trading, because my trading is very short term. It's intraday, and certain occasions I'll swing. But because I noticed a lot of research, I only trade two things: the Nasdaq and the S&P futures. I trade options too. I do call credit. I don't buy calls unless see, the thing about options that I learned later down the road is that options, there's historical volatility that you got to take into account. Think of it like insurance. If you're an 18-year-old driving, you're gonna charge you a higher premium because you don't have a driving history. Yeah. You're reckless, right? You don't know that. Options are the same way. If you have a stock that's highly volatile, you're overpaying for the options contracts, and inherently you're overpaying, and meaning you're losing money just by buying the contract if you're not paying attention to the historical volatility, the IV of the underlying you're trading. I learned that way down the road. It took me a while to figure out, but because of that, I only look at certain statistics when buying options of the IV implied volatility of the historical of the stock, because they have different IV levels. So I sell premium. You sell call credit spreads, put credit spreads, because when historical IV is high, the premium's high, you can sell premium at a higher price and get paid, because all options, statistically, 80% of them expire out of the money. So you pocket the premium because most of them are going to expire worthless. So the edge is in your favor because you have the theta decay, time decay. If you bought options, you maybe know what that is. So there's an edge to that too, but you just got to make sure you're looking at the right metrics to trade options. So that's why I deviated from that into futures. It's much cleaner. And not only that, but there's actually an edge there, because you can see all the transactions that come through the market, and you can see all the participation, all the volume that's transacted at what levels. And in reality, there's only a few participants that move the market, and those are aggressive participants. And you can see them in the futures market because it's a centralized ledger. So once I figured that out, I was like, I'm all in right here. This is where it's at. There's an edge there, because if you're looking at the transactions, you can see them happening, and you're not looking at these blue and green bars. You don't know what the hell's going on inside those bars. So the actual edge is found in actually peeling the veil and seeing the transactions coming through at the market at certain price levels, and that's what I trade, and that's how I trade, and that's what I try to teach. Because this candlesticks, the way it works is like by the time I buy a position, someone who trades with charts, I'm selling my position to you for profit already. I get in way before you do because you're waiting for a candle confirmation. I already bought and sold to you. So, and once I figured that out, I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going back to candlestick trading. So
how long you been doing that now?
Like futures 2 years, and I learned that within the 2 year span because I had a good solid footing on trading in general. But the order flow is what I teach, and that stuff took me about 2 years, give or take.
2 years, so you've been doing it. And so you do that every morning. How many hours? How early do you wake up, and how's your prep? Do you prep the night before, or just right before the stream, or how does that work?
So the beautiful thing about it is just because I trade two things only, the NASDAQ and the ES, the levels are pretty consistent throughout, right? We stay in ranges, we break out, whatever. So I don't have to do a lot of prep work. So I wake up at 5:30 a.m. I do a pre-market plan 30 minutes before the open. So, before the open, 6:30 is...
What's a pre-market plan? Like, what do you
That's a great question, actually. Sorry, I assume some of the times I assume everybody knows what I'm talking about. So pre-market plan is essentially you take the context of the market. The futures trades 24 hours a day, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. There's overnight action. So price trades during London session, Tokyo session. So the price moves after hours. You got to take into account the inventory that traded overnight. So when I wake up in the morning, I trade the New York session, the most common session here in the US. And I take into account all the orders, all the participants that traded overnight, right? Because then you're trading against those traders too. So I come in and create a thesis based on all the transactions that came through overnight and where all the positioning came in at what levels, where the aggressors were, and where they should be stopped out if they're wrong. And so that's my pre-market plan. I kind of give everyone the levels I'm looking out for, why, and what to expect at these levels, scenarios essentially. And I create scenarios hypothetically using auction market theory, distribution theory. These are really complex like things that I teach that not many people utilize with trading that can give you a really great edge when trading. Okay. Auction market theory is essentially, it's kind of like home sales. Home sales is an auction. You look at the auction of homes in a given area. You can go even as far as a little neighborhood. When you buy homes, if you buy real estate, you should be looking at this. What's the lowest sales price in the last year? The highest sales price in the last year within this little neighborhood or zip code, right? That's an auction. You got the low end, the high end for this 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. You see the high end is $100. The low end is, just say simplicity, $50. All right, so you know there's value at $50 compared to the highest sold price. So the auction market theory is essentially try to find value in price. Where is the lowest price that buyers are going to get value from their positioning? Where is the highest price that sellers are going to get worth for their positioning? Sellers meaning short sellers, people betting down. Buyers meaning people are going to buy it back up. And the way you do that is the market, you use volume profile, the volume that I talk about at pre-market, and you take into account where all the inventory is on the value areas, the extreme high and low for that overnight session. And that should tell you where buyers are willing to, they see value. So if, for example, you told me you had a house, you would sell it to me for $50, I'd buy it for you instantly. Right? Yeah. No question about it. The same thing exists in the stock market in the short term. In the short term, there are price levels that are very valuable that every buyer wants to step in and take. Yeah. And the same thing for the short side on the high end. And it's a concept that I have a video on. I teach it, but it's pretty much the underlying of how I trade.
And then you think is there a reason why you only stick to those two? Because having a hyper focus on, I feel like you know those numbers a lot more than, you're looking at 12 fucking.
No, yeah. So when you hyper focus on two, it makes it so simple because not only do you recognize the levels,
the patterns,
patterns, the behaviors they have, and not only that, but they're intercorrelated markets. The NASDAQ is a big component of the S&P 500. So if the NASDAQ's outperforming, the S&P is lagging, that means there's a divergence, meaning the NASDAQ, the tech sector is a part of the S&P 500, and it's a huge underlying, it affects the S&P a lot. So if the NASDAQ takes off and the SPY is lagging, there's a divergence there. You can buy the SPY and it catches up. And that happens. And I teach people how to find these divergences as well. I have many strategies that I implement, but the divergence trade happens a lot in the morning where the NASDAQ just like either goes up or down significantly and the SPY doesn't move, the S&P. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take divergence trade. And next thing you know, it's teetering and then it drops or it goes up and people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But those are, and they at some point they balance out and they become perfect, but there's a split second in time where they're not correlated. They decouple when in reality
those are the opportunities
there's that opportunity, and that opportunity only exists for like 5-10 minutes sometimes. And I'm able to spot it and I take that trade.
And then if someone like doesn't trade, maybe, man, I've always wanted to get into investing or trading. Or do you recommend somebody to have a lot of money, or they could start with a little bit, or how would you recommend somebody
That's interesting.
that's curious about getting
Investing?
started in that
I
kind
think
of
there's
thing?
so much resources on the internet that can help you get started, but it's always going to be dependent on like how invested you want to be in this. How much time are you willing to commit? How much energy? People that ask me questions all the time on YouTube are like, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm like, well, what's your time commitment? What are you trying to do? How much money do you have? It's a very variable question. But to answer the question briefly, I think everyone should invest in the market as a whole. If you're not willing to invest short term to trade, you should at least be invested in the market in some of the products that you use every day or you consume every day. Most obvious ones are, just buy the S&P if anything. But Microsoft, if you have Microsoft products and you believe in the company, they're part of an AI movement. Just think of it like you're a consumer of products. The best products that you can buy in terms of stock, if you want to invest, are the products you already love and use. Tesla was one back in 2019. If you have a car when you're buying it, it shot up extensively during COVID.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies for Netflix. If you were a Netflix user in 2015, 16, you made a shit ton of money into the run up in 2020, 23. Even now, it's still up a lot.
Yeah.
So, most times we're the best barometers of where we should be investing our money.
You're already giving all your money and time to these
companies.
Might as well just get a piece of the pie.
You already buy a bunch of product from them, whether that's Nike, Lululemon, or whatever it is. All these stocks, if you look at their charts, their historical charts, they've gone up over time because they only go up because people love the product. They use it.
Yeah.
And that's inherently how the market kind of moves based on that assumption. And you don't have to make it so complex, honestly. You just buy a little bit, dollar cost average, buy whatever it is.
Yeah, whenever you have a little extra.
Yeah, put it in there, buy it, every 2 weeks, $50, whatever it is you got, and over time it grows. And this is what I'm trying to teach my brother and sister too, is like, I tell them, like, just buy something that you love. Give me a sector that you enjoy. And he listed a few companies. I said, that one's good, buy that. Buy it every 2 weeks, $50. And over time, in 3-5 years, you'll have a lot of money because not only is savings not going to grow, stock will compound, and then maybe when you're ready, you'll use that money to buy a house.
Yeah.
Because people, it's hard to have the discipline to save money to buy a home, let alone have the income to qualify. But if you can make great habits and invest it in the market, I think is probably the best place as opposed to savings. If you don't have a lot of money, you can use that money down the road in 5 years and buy your own home. It'll be your down payment.
Yeah.
Because you'll get the appreciation of the stocks. And if you do it in a 401k too, as well, I don't know if people know this, but first-time home buyers, they won't penalize you for using your 401k to buy a home.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pull it out and buy it as a first-time home buyer with no penalty. So those are videos I probably should make about too.
Yeah,
I think people don't know about.
It's just information that people don't know. It's just people don't know. People don't because they're stuck in that trap.
Yeah, and it's not common knowledge, which should be too. That's the problem too. Is like all the information spread out isn't things that are actually useful.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you gotta take. People know the information about like who's the MVP of the NFL and fucking who scores 7 touchdowns. That's what I'm saying. It's like so these things that don't matter. But it's like, oh shit, maybe you should invest into your family's future or things that are gonna be making your life less stressful because. People say you don't need money or whatever, but having money to take the stress of a lot of things does help. And it's you don't have to be a billionaire, but if you have some extra money to be able to pursue your hobby or whatever, it's better than knowing the information of,
where to allocate and how to do responsible things to kind of put yourself in a better place from down the road. I don't disagree, man. And I think it's just like the problem is not the lack of information that's out there. Actually, now that I think about it, it's the lack of initiative people have. Because a lot of the things you can learn are out there on the internet now. Like you go back.
Everything's on there. You can learn anything on YouTube, on everything's there. Like there's still more information out there, but I think you can learn anything there, bro. Everything's there.
You can find a video on.
Yeah.
Before for me, it was like I go on Google and search
articles and stuff.
Yeah. Now you can go on YouTube and use it instead of fucking Google search. You use YouTube search and you find a video on it.
I do that all the time. Yeah. Like, I gotta find how to do this. Let me go on YouTube real quick. How do I set up this mic? YouTube. How do I do,
Dude, now
it's ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT as a search engine, bro. Like,
no way.
I'll be like, oh shit, when was this president? I just go because I have the app on my phone.
Yeah.
And I just type in like, when was this president born? And it'll tell me on ChatGPT.
Everything. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I've never used. I
use it as a search engine.
Really?
It's still sometimes it's not current, of course, but for a lot of information. ChatGPT is the best, bro.
Dude, it's gonna be like, I wonder what school's gonna look like, because the education system has to shift a little bit when this information becomes so publicly and readily available, that the education system to some degree maybe has to make some adjustments. Because if you can
make major adjustments, bro, because it's still the same system. That's the problem, because they make you memorize things to pass a test. I mean, but all those things that you're gonna memorize, do you really need to know who the fucking 7th president was? When you could just not anymore. You could just Google that. If you're going into maybe a political office or a historian, learning about fucking Martin Van Buren, whatever. Yeah. But the average person, you do want to learn about history, but you want to learn more practical things. Like, we went away from all that because I think it's by design. You know, they don't want everybody educated, because we still need
those blue collar jobs to have,
everybody. And you know, they get the distractions, you know, that you don't pay attention in school because they don't even put an effort. They want you to just circle answers, and hopefully you pass a test, you get a diploma. And you know, like, there's no plan, there's no life skills, there's no trades. They don't teach you. Like, back in the day, you could learn how to, I think they used to have like trade schools in the school, like plumbing, electricity, and auto body shop, actual practical things. Like, they should be teaching finance. That should be mandatory. 4 years of finance, bro. Like, why do we have to learn 4 years of some dumbass electives and classes?
It's very dated, honestly. And it's like, honestly, at some point it's going to be obsolete. Because you're not going to need to go to school anymore to learn everything you're going to be taught there, and you're not going to use it anyway. Mm-hmm. You're not going to use it unless they change the education system. At some point, it's going to falter and not going to be a part of. I don't know when that will happen, you know. But I honestly feel like it's really, really old and antiquated. And I mean, I'm sure it's intention. If you think about what school is, you're just memorizing stuff. How good are you at memorizing is how good you will be in school. That's all you're doing. You're memorizing dates, historical things that happen, formulas, vocabulary. It's all memorization. Yeah, that's all school is, you know. But nobody tells you it's just learn how to memorize things and you'll pass school. Yeah, that's all it is.
That's true.
You learn if you learn how to teach yourself to memorize things. Everyone learns differently. Yeah. But if you can figure out how you regurgitate information, you can do well in school, no problem. But nobody tells you that. They don't teach you in school how to memorize things. You know, I learned early on how I learn things. I like to. So you give me a word and a definition, I'll make my own definition of it to remember it. Oh yeah. That's how I learn. I just take whatever it says there and I'll make it short and sweet and I'll remember it. Yeah. That's how I teach myself. I learned that early on. That's why I did okay in school. You know, because I realized school is just a bunch of memorization. Yeah. That's all it is. You know, and then applying the information there. You know, but. And nonetheless, like that's the thing is, like, I think education is going to change, and people going to college is not going to be a mandatory way to succeed in life, because there's a new economy now. Yeah. This online economy is going to change. It's going to change everything. Again, you're saying people regular jobs, people making pizza are making money doing their regular job that they have no degree for, and they're getting donations and tons of viewership. Yeah, they're creating brands, and the future is heading that way. It's gonna be brands are still relevant, but it's gonna be people brands. It's like you're starting to see it with like Supreme, and then you had the Prime, and then you have like just big celebrities endorsing the tequila by The Rock. You know, like that's worth $2-3 billion just because The Rock put his name on it. Yeah, and that's just those are like the examples of like right now, but in the future it's gonna be people follow a certain creator, they're endorsing a certain brand, and they're tied to it. That's it. And I think honestly, if I were to make a really crazy prediction, I think Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, all those things are gonna be obsolete down the road. Yeah, I think they're gonna be gone at some point. Not obsolete, but they're not gonna be as it, because there'll be so many influencers, celebrities that have their own versions. Well, even now you have Kanye, like he spent like $7 million on a Super Bowl ad, but he didn't film his Super Bowl ad was him on his phone, but like, hey, I was supposed to, so I got the Super Bowl ad and I didn't. We were like, oh, what should we make? What kind of video, and spend this much money? So I decided this is the Super Bowl ad. I'm selling stuff on my website, $20, whatever. So everything shoes. He sold those like pod shoes, and then like 3 types of T-shirts. Yeah. I think some socks, and everything was $20 on the website. What? And he spent $7 million to be shown on the Super Bowl, but the ad was him talking to the camera, and he made like 21 or 22 million of sales. Yeah, is intense. And then all the sales were shipping in 4 weeks, which meant he hadn't
printed anything. So it was
You had to
printing
type
the
the
orders. So
production.
whatever orders came in, then they take that and print out and ship
Production.
out the production.
Damn, dude.
So
That's
off
fucking
of that,
smart.
$20 shoes, $20 shirts, Connie's brand, whatever, Yeezy.com, and
Yeah.
then made millions of dollars. And that's how powerful. And or you have even Taylor Swift, who I think she made $1 billion off her tour last year, or this tour that she's doing. She's doing like 100 cities or whatever. $1 billion just performing in different fucking stadiums all over
Nuts.
the world.
She's got to be one of the highest performing artists, probably. Huh?
Yeah, she's probably the
Ice
biggest
skate.
artist right now in
Yeah.
the world. And that's the power of branding. Bad Bunny too, like $300 tickets to go see him at different places, because it just, people resonate with that person because their songs make them feel something, because an experience,
Connect. Yeah, they
things
connect.
happen,
Yeah, their music connects with the
Or Elon
masses.
Musk is also, people support him
That's why Tesla
because they
was
like
his
him.
thing.
Yeah, people are like, oh
It's a
yeah,
cult following.
he's got a cool fucking story. He's trying to change the world. He's trying to take us to the future. He's trying to go to Mars. He's doing this, and people support his brand.
And exactly that. It's like Elon Musk is a small fragment of what Louis Vuitton and all these brands I'm saying is. Elon Musk, what was before was Mercedes, BMW, all these higher-end brands.
High-end brands.
He took them, he made them change the industry and flipped it on its head and made them make electric vehicles. Now they all have electric cars,
Yeah.
right? Trying to catch up.
Exactly.
And I think, again, this goes back to the clothes thing. I think these influencers that have an impact, have a following, are going to take some market share from these higher luxury brands. Not that they will be gone, but they're going to have to either take them on and do brand deals with them, or they're going to lose market share to them.
Yeah.
Because that's the future, essentially, at some point. It's becoming more, we're going away from actual corporations and more to individuals. And that's the
Someone
future.
said too that the problem is gonna be when everybody's doing it. You're gonna have someone made a joke that like the taxi driver is gonna, or the Uber driver is gonna be like, hey, subscribe to my daughter's fucking OnlyFans, bro. Like,
Hey, that will happen.
My son has a
That will
fucking,
happen.
he's a streamer. My daughter's this,
Yeah.
like. It's gonna, because not everyone's gonna get to the top,
No,
so it's
man,
gonna be
no. It's saturation
even
at
now. You have like OnlyFans was such a lucrative thing, and it still is. Like the numbers are insane. These girls are making millions of dollars, but then there's millions of girls that are not making anything, and they're kind of going down the rabbit hole of like posting, and it's kind of sad, humiliating themselves
Gotcha.
online.
Yeah, I hear you.
And they're not successful at it. Same with streamers. There's streamers that are making millions. They're badass. There's streamers that are spending 10 hours a day streaming that no one's watching their
Nothing
stuff. But it's also the way they package it. So it's not, it's like you got to figure a way to get attention and go into the market. And like you figure it out by being consistent, by bringing value, by teaching people. People want to go to that. But there's people that are doing it every day and they just haven't figured it out.
Yeah, it's an art and also a science. There's a finesse.
Strategy,
To it.
strategy.
Yeah, there's a strategy.
Strategy and
There's a finesse to it.
consistency.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is like authenticity. I think we're really good at spotting inauthenticity in others. So if someone's trying to create a brand or create a following, you can kind of gauge people and tell they're bullshitting themselves or others or you, and you're not going to gravitate towards that. Maybe some people will, but they're never going to get to their real level of success because people are really good at smelling BS, in my opinion. And I think that also is a big fragment of it, is like the authenticity. And that's what I want to bring to the channel, is my authenticity, because I actually care about the individual development of the people that come to my stream. I email people all the time. People email me from France, Amsterdam. I have people from Canada emailing me. I take the time to respond to them and answer questions that they have about their trading or teach them things offside. I'm not getting paid for this, but because I care. I actually am devoted to the development. And because, again, my mission statement is just, I love this. I love doing it. It's like I want it to be my career where I just literally get paid to people to stream on YouTube, create value, speak about how I trade, what I learn, showing people. I'm transparent. I show you guys what I make, how much I lose every single day. I show it on stream. The other thing I do is like I actually care to the development of others, so that way they can fill that gap between where they can be and where they are, right? Because the stuff in between is where the pain lies, and I want to make sure people can skip through that. And I think that is really the difference that I bring, and that people probably can feel when I show up on YouTube and live stream and do these videos and stuff like that. Because that's my mission statement. It's like I love doing this, but I also love teaching and making sure people can bridge that gap.
Yeah, no, I like your whole approach.
Yeah.
So, I think the more you continue. I mean, you're seeing success already so fast. So I can't wait to see your next 6 months, a year, 2 years.
Look,
Because I know you're gonna do some badass shit.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna do some shit. Honestly, I have bigger vision in mind. So many things that where it's like 5 years maybe, or who knows. Like, you know, I don't like to put a timeline on things because success comes when it does.
Yeah.
You know, it's always a matter of time, and you don't know how much time that is, because ultimately the universe decides that, or God, or whatever you believe in, decides when your time is. But all you can do is put in everything you have into it, your intention, your energy, and you know, it'll come with time. And as long as you put in the right intent, the right energy, it'll be reciprocated and come back to you. But my vision for the channel is I'm gonna flip the industry on its head. There's a lot of people on the internet, on YouTube in specific, where people are requesting you pay to be on their Discord groups and shit.
Yeah.
Or for their courses, right? You gotta pay $500-$600 for this shit, and it doesn't even work. And I want to come up here and build an audience, build my channel, and make their products obsolete, because nobody should be paying for this shit.
Yeah.
Especially if it doesn't work. So that's my goal. And then in the interim is to essentially grow it so big that everybody else gets annihilated because they're making money from teaching people false things and not real trading.
And even then, too, there's people that charge $10,000 for courses, $3,000 for, and people pay that. That's insane, bro.
But I want to make sure that doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
right?
without available is available.
It's available.
But it's just people taking advantage. You know?
They are, and that's what frustrates me is when I see that. And so my main goal is to take those people out and make sure that my content.
Quick scope on 360.
Yeah, I'm a 360 double tap quick scope all those fake furus on YouTube.
A fake hand switch, throw a knife across the mat.
Because it's just not right, man. Because nobody should be investing that much money into their education when they don't need to. It's all there for free, you know. And so that's one part of the dream, and hopefully I can accomplish that in the next few years. Because honestly, the stuff I just comparatively, and it sounds like very prideful. I'm not a prideful person, but the value that I give, I believe, you can't find anywhere else on YouTube. So if you're learning to trade, follow me. It's Trade with Rick. You'll find me. Google me. You'll find it.
You'll find it.
By the way, I was actually very fascinated recently. I Googled myself, and I can find my channel on Google search.
That's
before
sick.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
So it was pretty neat. But you got to put Trade with Rick.
Trade with Rick. So make sure you guys follow Trade with Rick. Well, Rick, bro, this is such a great podcast. I want to do it again. This is first we gotta play some fucking video games.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, we gotta play some Call of Duty. Let's see if we fucking dominate some lobbies. But
play some zombies again, man. That was so fun.
Kino, I still play Kino and like the remaster, but yeah, so much to do. But yeah, no, bro, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the podcast, and for sure I'll have you back on
again if you have some time, man.
No, hell yeah, dude, let's do it. And we'll follow along your journey, and you have whatever you need, just let us know as well. So thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't have any social media, so I won't.
Trade with Rick on YouTube, only way to find him. So that's it.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Let's see. Oh, fuck. And now we're 16.